Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great today. So once again, I must sincerely apologize for the little noise that you might be hearing in the background. Unfortunately, most of the time when I make these videos with my phone, that's actually what happens. So please bear with me, okay? Now, I did not think that I would be making this quick video before launching the bigger one that I had promised everyone that I will be coming up with, in which I intend to help you understand what the bigger picture is and what the colonial powers are planning against Africa and how that they are going for the kill right now. And in fact, whatever evil plan they have for Africa, they want to execute it immediately, as soon as possible. And that's what that documentary is aimed at accomplishing. And I can tell you right now categorically that we've been able to successfully shoot that documentary. And we are at the post-production stage right now. So in a matter of days, by the grace of God, that project is going to be debuting on YouTube, and it's going to come in different parts. So you can actually keep your fingers crossed for that one, because it's actually coming, okay? Now, this particular quick video that I'm trying to make, I call it a critical update to my last video. It is so critical because if you hear what I'm about to share with you right now, you'll understand why I call it the critical update. About 2 or 3 days ago, the current British High Commissioner to Nigeria visited Rivers State. Rivers State is in the southern part of Nigeria. And she was quoted as saying that the UK would deny visas to individuals who would try to cause problem or cause trouble during the 2023 upcoming elections in Nigeria. 2023, that's elections for 2023, 2 years from now. And she is issuing threats, threatening the people who might potentially want to cause trouble during the elections. When I heard that statement, I read it, I reread it, and then read it again. And I laughed out loud. You know why I laughed? I said to myself, how many people are aware of the game that this woman is playing and the kind of dangerous stuff that she just pulled off? It's a psychological warfare stunt she just pulled off. But you don't know that, right? Did you see it? We are living in an era of massive, unprecedented psychological warfare. We've moved too far away from conventional warfare. And we are now living in that era of psychological warfare. And as a matter of fact, psychological warfare has been the weapon of choice for the colonial powers, without which they could never have been able to hold Africa down for such a very long time. That's why the biggest problem in Africa is mental slavery, psychological warfare. So what this woman was doing, she just pulled the plug and fired the first shot from her psychological warfare weapon. But many people did not see what she was driving at. But I'm going to help you understand what she was doing and why she did it. Many weeks ago, a prominent Nigerian preacher by the name Federalism, he made a video that went super viral all over the world. In that video, many people were shocked to see him call Nigeria a scam, something that is known to even an unborn child. And he said that the Nigerian constitution is a fraud. A dead man knows this. He was visibly angry in that video. And it was clear to everyone that even the most unlearned spectator, that even the most unreasonable Nigerian, no matter where they may be today, that they have actually had it, that they have had enough, and that they are now sick and tired of the nonsense that we have had to deal with over the years in Nigeria. Federalism is not known to be that vocal when it comes to political issues in Nigeria or about Nigeria. So for him to have done that video and followed it up with other videos, it means that the time has come, especially for people in his class. We've been screaming for so many years. But Adefarasin's video was not the only one. We now have secessionist elements growing in the southwestern part of Nigeria. We now have the calls for restructuring growing louder than I've ever heard all my life. You have people in the Biafra land in the eastern part of Nigeria who have been on this journey for secession, for freedom for so long, crying, give us our own nation. And now you have Middle Belt where the governor is now saying that his people shall begin to bear arms. All over Nigeria, people are crying for freedom because we all feel so caged in our own ancestral homelands. Why? Because of a system that was imposed on us. A system that is so unjust, that is so unfair and wicked. A system that is killing and destroying everything we stand for. And we just did what every human being is supposed to do. Cry out for help. Say, no, we can't take it anymore. We've had it. Let us restructure Nigeria. Let's return to the federal system of government. And rather than support the call, rather than help us to actually make it happen, the British government, through their own woman, the High Commissioner, is simply telling you that no matter what is going on in southwestern part of Nigeria, no matter what is going on in eastern part of Nigeria, no matter how many militants or rebel groups that spring up in Nigeria, no matter how many people call for restructuring, no matter how many people are dying by virtue of this wicked system, it's not our business. You must get ready to go to elections in 2023. Because of course they know that whenever we go to elections, we validate the wickedness, we validate the nonsense, we validate the rubbish, we validate the scam that Nigeria is. We validate the wickedness of the constitution that we did not know how they brought about. They know that elections mean a validation to their colonial strangulation and stranglehold on Nigeria and Nigerians. They know that. You think they don't know? That's why she was doing what she did. That's why she did that. What stopped the woman from saying, you know what, Nigerians, Britain will stand by you if you guys can actually now call together and hold another sovereign national conference where the indigenous component units that make up this so-called fake country can be brought to a round table and be allowed to decide their own destiny, decide how they want to live together, decide the constitution by which they will be governed. What stops her from saying that? She would never do it because, remember, she is a representative of the colonial wickedness on our people. So that was a massive psychological warfare bullet she just let out. But we said no, we want out. Because she knows that many of us have been crying. No, why are we like this? Let's restructure the country. Let's go back to the federal system of government, because what we have now is basically what we had in 1914 when the wicked first son of Satan, Lord Logan, amalgamated Nigeria by force. That's the system we're practicing now. You want me to take you down memory lane? I'll take you down memory lane. I will try my best. Maybe that will help us to understand what is going on. What happened in 1914? In 1914, that was the first constitution we had under the wicked amalgamated unit called Nigeria. So the Nigerian constitution in 1914 amalgamated Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate. That constitution gave so much sweeping power to the Governor General, which was Frederick Lugard. He had power over any and everything, over any and every province. In fact, the Legislative Council that they set up had only power to legislate on issues concerning the Lagos colony. Other than that, they didn't have power over any other region. Only the governor had power over everything on behalf of the colonial powers. And so we moved forward. And we then had the 1922 Constitution. And the 1922 Constitution came and did what it did. And still, the colonial powers held sway. And then we moved from there. And we went into 1946 Constitution. The 1946 Constitution happened as at the time that they were fighting I think it happened shortly after the Second World War. And remember that some of our people were conscripted to go and fight the Second World War. But after the Second World War, there was a UN charter that made a strong reference to the freedom of colonized people on the basis of principle and self-determination. And so from that moment on, the call for people who are colonized to be let loose, to be set free, grew louder all over the world. And so all the colonial powers now began to clean up their bags and started thinking of how to really handle this matter so they can set the people free. It was at that time that we had what we call the National Council of Nigerian Citizens, NCNC. I think that was the name. The National Council of Nigerian Citizens. It was this National Council of Nigerian Citizens that now went into the different indigenous groups, different villages, started consulting with our people in the villages, telling them, look, this is the need for us to rise up now and get our freedom, because the world is already crying out for our freedom. Let us do something so we can seek for our independence. And those people began to wake up. They started becoming politically literate. They started having the desire for freedom, because they now know that there is a global outcry for people to be free. And it paid off. What happened? From the 1946 Constitution, we went to 1951 McPherson Constitution. McPherson Constitution, 1951. During this time, let me show you, it was the 1951 Constitution was the first time ever since 1914, since amalgamation, that Nigeria experienced true federalism. It was the first federal system of government that was practiced in Nigeria. It was the 1951 Constitution that made it possible. And how did they do it? How did they come about the 1951 Constitution? If you check all the records, if you know your history, they said there was no other constitutional process in the history of Nigeria that involved the level of consultation that the 1951 Constitution involved. They consulted so widely that they involved the regions, they involved the provinces, they involved divisions, they involved even the villages. Everyone was consulted. It was massive, wide consultation. And they found out from them, how would you want to be governed? What document do you want to be governed with? Everybody was carried along. So they had a conference, Sovereign National Conference, like the one Jonathan did in 2014. And when they had the conference, one held at Enugu, and the other one held in Ibadan, and the other one was in Kaduna. Okay, because of course, we had three regions by now, by 1951, because the 1946 Constitution actually was the one that divided Nigeria into three different regions. You have the north, you have the west, and then you have the east. There was nothing like South-South. South-South was a satanic creation of the divide and rule colonial powers through their military guys. There is nothing like South-South anywhere. Go and check the 1946 Constitution. That's what gave you three regions in Nigeria, and they are still the same way till today. You have Western Nigeria, Eastern Nigeria, and Northern Nigeria. So we are one people. And so they consulted with everyone, and then they made sure that the conference held at Enugu for Eastern Nigeria, Ibadan for Western Nigeria, and then in Kaduna for Northern Nigeria. And eventually they came to a consensus that approved a federal system of government and gave powers to the regions. And Nigeria began to flourish. And the people who had cocoa were developing cocoa. The people who had oil were working on it. This one was happening. The colonials couldn't take it. And suddenly they used their agents, provocateurs, and created crisis. And then there was this thing about Hausa killing Igbo, this one, that. They started having all these wicked, violent clashes all over the place. And what happened? When that started happening, Lord have mercy on Africa and Nigeria. The Secretary of State for the colonies, his name was Oliver Littleton. Oliver called on all the political party leaders in Nigeria and invited them over to London. And they started having meetings upon meetings upon meetings. And when they were done with the meetings, they came up with the 1954 Constitution. The 1954 Constitution was so deceptive, even though on the outside it looked very much like the 1951 Constitution. It was a constitution that was made to lay the framework and the foundations for independence. And so what they did with that constitution was that they now decided to separate Lagos and removed Lagos from being under any one of the regions, because Lagos is supposed to be with the Western region. So they separated it and then made it the Federal Capital Territory. So now you are trying to make us believe that you are still upholding the things that are contained in the 1951 Constitution, but then you are now giving a Federal Capital Territory to Lagos, meaning that there were some hidden stuff that are there which we did not know. But let's go forward now to the 1960 Constitution, which was when we gained independence. Now, the Constitution that gave Nigeria her independence, do you know what happened with that constitution? Now, the legislative body that was created during that period, they recognized the Queen of England, the British monarch, as the head of state. The constitution, the legislative body created by this constitution recognized the British monarch as the head of state of Nigeria. And designate and you know what? Oh my God! You know what happened? Not only that she is the head of state of Nigeria, and they recognize that she also has the power to appoint an agent in the person of the Governor General, which is what you call the president today. So the Queen of England, the Constitution made her the head of state, who has the power to appoint a Governor General, a president, and then not only that. The final appellate authority over Nigeria, which is supposed to rest with the Supreme Court of Nigeria, did not rest on the Supreme Court. It rested with the private council, which was created or set up by the Queen of England. So the final authority on anything that has to do with the law in Nigeria was actually not with the Supreme Court. It was with the private council, which the Queen set up by herself. So you can imagine, Nigeria was a dominion territory. So you were just existing in name as independent. You didn't have any independence. This was what the 1960 Constitution imposed on our people. We became like people who were in chains but didn't know we had chains around our ankles. 1954 set the tone for what happened in 1960. And so when our people have had it, they were tired of the nonsense and the rubbish. What did they do? They said, you know, we can't take this anymore. And that's what gave birth to the 1963 Constitution. The 1963 Constitution was almost like channeling the 1951 Constitution. It was a truly federal system of government that it bestowed on our people. The 1963 Constitution was beautiful. Almost everything that 1951 was, 1963 was it. And we started enjoying this regional thing again. Through federal character, everything returned. The British government, again, the colonial powers, became so uncomfortable with that again. And they started plotting, how do we kill this? How do we destroy it? What did they do in 1966? Your brother and mine, Omonawe Aguironse, an Igbo man is the one they used to destroy that federal system of government. An Igbo man. So when I tell you that the problem of Nigeria has zero ethnic coloration, you must believe me, because I'm not joking. Your problem is not the ethnic minorities or ethnic groups in your country. Your problem is the colonials. They can use anybody. They used Aguna, Aguiyi-Ironsi. And Aguiyi-Ironsi came up with what we call the Decree number 34. It is also known as the Unification Decree. It was that decree that imposed the unitary system of government on Nigeria and did away with the federal system, which we enjoyed only between that 1963 to 1966. He had a coup d'etat. They carried out a coup d'etat, and as soon as the coup was successful, the next thing they brought to us was a unitary system of government by a decree, a military decree. And then there was a counter coup, and then the war came, the Biafran War, Nigerian Biafran War, which happened between 1966 and 1969. So from that 1966 to the next 13 years, the military sat down and midwifed and nurtured and perpetuated this wicked unitary system of government at the behest of the colonial powers in Britain. Yes, that's how they played the game. Within those 13 years, they fought the Biafran War, and they continued and continued and continued. Anyone who wanted to bring anything different, you were cut down straight up immediately. Right? And so, as they were going on from 1966 for another 30 years, which ended up in 1979, the 1979 Constitution was not a legalization. It now accorded the wicked Decree 34 a constitutional legality. That's what the Constitution did, because this one was decree, and then they put it into a constitution. The military regime in 1979 accorded the Decree 34 a constitutional legality. That's when they gave us this wicked constitution that upheld everything that the Decree 34 Unification Decree was talking about. So Nigeria now had gotten used by way of satanic evil rule, mind control programming. They have now gotten used to the unitary system of government. Okay? And then when they notice Nigerians have now we've been doused in it, we've gotten used to it, they now decided, okay, by 1999, they're going to have military, civilian rule. So 1999 Constitution then came. What happened when Constitution of 1999 came? It still perpetuated every single thing that is contained in the 1979 Constitution, which was also a ghost of the Decree 34, the Unification Decree. So you are looking at a situation where what Aguiyi-Ironsi did in 1966 was carried on and accorded a constitutional legality in 1979, and the 1999 perpetuated and still upholds it until this very day. And I am asking, where is my 1951 and 1963? This is my question. Give me 1951, give me 1963, and you will not hear a single call for restructuring anymore. So whenever you hear us calling for restructuring, we are saying, where is 1951? Where is 1963? In fact, more, where is 1963 the more? Because our people came together and decided this is what we want. And it worked so well for us. You said you wanted to join the nation, and you did it by force. And we allowed you. But you didn't join our brains now. You didn't amalgamate our brains. We still have our brains, and we are saying, give us our rights. I went through this process because I wanted you to understand what is going on. When we're screaming and crying, you should know why we are crying. The unitary system of government has given the Nigerian government 68 items on the exclusive list. Do you know what that means? 68 whole items on the exclusive list. Meaning that there are 68 things that the federal government would do that the states will not have a say on it. And I'm going to help you to understand, because I can't go through all of it. I just want to let you know that almost every single thing that makes us who we are They have handed it over to the federal government of Nigeria by virtue of this unitary system. Even power, aviation, everything is under their control. But this is the one that is even the most heartbreaking one I want to share with you. Pay attention. You know, Nigeria has what we call the National Security Council. The National Security Council oversees everything that has to do with the security of lives and property in Nigeria. Everything that has to do with the violation of the territorial integrity of Nigeria. The National Security Council is in charge of anything that has to do with security. But can I tell you something that will shock you today? The governors in Nigeria are the chief security officers of all their states. So the moment you become a governor, by virtue of you becoming a governor, you become instantly the chief security officer of your state. But guess what? None of the governors are made members of the Nigeria's National Security Council. They are not a part of the National Security Council. And yet they are the chief security officers of their own states. So when they discuss anything that has to do with security, it's only a bunch of few people who just come around. It could even be people who speak the same language as Buhari, like we have seen in recent times. So how do you discuss security when the people, the chief security officers, are not even a part of that security meeting you're having? Isn't that what gave rise to what we have seen happen in Nigeria play out several years back, and it's still happening today? A governor, I think it was Taraba State or so, was crying. He even went out in the media and was crying, saying that he was calling Abuja to come and help him, that terrorists were overrunning all their cities and all their towns. He said Abuja told him to hold on. So if the terrorists come to invade a state in Nigeria, if anything, any harm comes to them, and probably the people in Abuja at the federal level do not like that state or like the person in charge of the state, they can actually decide to pay deaf ear to his cries. They can decide to go on vacation when he's calling for help. They can decide to say, oh, I was on the phone with my girlfriend when he's calling for help. They cannot place sentiment over people's lives because of the unitary system of wickedness that they imposed on us. How can you take police and give it to the federal government and somebody say, I'm calling Abuja for police? I studied criminal justice. Police started from the community. It's meant to be community-based stuff. Why is the federal government in charge of policing in Nigeria? These are all part of the wickedness. It's all part of the wickedness. So you don't have a say anymore. The constitution that we have in Nigeria will turn even an angel into a tyrant, a wicked tyrant. You don't have to want to be, it will turn you into one. That's why I showed you people a document I profiled in one of my videos where they were talking about the 3 pillars on which Nigeria was built by the colonial powers. Number 1 pillar is ignorance. The second one is military terrorism. The terror of the military. Military is coming, everybody be scared. That's why you see people are scared of the military in Nigeria. They are brutal. The third one is what? The fear of the white man. Anything the white man says, that's law. Boom. That's why they don't want any man who would challenge them. They want people like Buhari, who when they talk, Buhari will never say what about. You can't ask them questions. The fear of the white man. These are people. Nigeria was set up to walk in reverse. So even if you are a forward-thinking person and you show up at the government level in Nigeria, your brain will recalibrate and begin to think backwards. That's the way. I'm not making this up. It's in a document. They said Nigeria is a system that is not found anywhere in the world. They consider it only something that is, they consider a figment. It came out of the figment of the imagination of the first son of Satan that I call him, which is Lord Lugard. It was something he imagined out of the figment of his imagination. So when you hear Nigerian system, the system they call Nigerian system is not in existence anywhere in the world. It's a system that was built to move in reverse. A system that was built to function as though it's existing in the Stone Ages. That's what we are crying for help with. And the British High Commissioner decided to insult us by telling us that no matter who you think you are going to still go to elections, and you're going to validate our stranglehold on your country. You're going to validate the chains we've got around your necks and your ankles. You're going to validate the slavery we have brought upon you and your generations unborn. You are going to go and validate it, and you can't do anything or else you die. This is what she was saying by that. Look at the time we are in, and you're talking about 2023 elections. That's what's going on. This is what is happening. That's why they are doing everything through Buhari to strangulate our people. Buhari just gave instruction to Nigerian Communications Commission to start collecting the International Mobile Equipment Identification Numbers, IMEI, of people's mobile phones. Where have you heard this before? Because they want to start tracking people. With that number, they can check your location, they can get you, they can do anything. We are not done with the so-called NIN. We have not been done with the BVN. All kinds of identification things. And I've been screaming and talking about these things. They want to strangulate the people. They want to stifle dissent. They want people to stop talking. But we can't stop talking because we are in a dire strait. And we've had enough of it. Set us free and let us be free once and for all. These things have happened in the past. That's why I went through that memory lane that I told you I was taking you to. So you can see how we progressed to where we are today. Restructure Nigeria if you have nothing to fear. Jonathan did it, 2014. They marked him. They say, this one wants to take the breast milk of Nigeria's resources from our mouth. Get him out. They were ready to even bomb Abuja if Jonathan didn't leave because of that. And you think that these people are going to let us get away with it? My next documentary that I told you we're editing now is coming out. When it comes out, you will see the full-blown plan. They knew that all these militant organizations and rebel groups are going to spring up. They knew they are planning to invade our country with a military force to recolonize us. You will find the proof from my documentary. That's why our people need to be careful. Igbos are about to be killed massively again. I'm telling you what I know. We need to be careful. We need to wake up and pray and work together. One of the easiest and the fastest way to resist this madness is to make sure that our governors don't look back. Our governors who have decided to come together as one, as southern governors, don't ever look back. Don't ever be bought, because your people will not find it funny if you dare. Be strong and be focused. You've got nothing to lose. And trust me, God is with us. Because I cried out to God about this whole situation. And I was saying, Father, what do? We need your help. We need your help. And he took me to Isaiah chapter 47. And when I read it, I was comforted. So I believe that these people who believe they are larger than life, that they are now too bold and arrogant, and they can even tell us to our faces the evil they want to unleash on us. I believe that their time, their days are numbered. God will show up to help us, but we are also going to do something on our own, because we are not robots. And may God help us truly. Amen.